number line. It goes up by 1,000 every time. Remember, as we move from this direction to the right, the numbers always get bigger, every single number line, no matter what, unless somebody has done it wrong. Now, Kingston, I want you to come up here, take your expo marker, and plot this number. Remember, plotting a number on a number line means you take your marker or your pencil or whatever, and you put a dot where this number would go on our number line. Try not to touch the board. So just hold your marker out, take a second, and make a big dot where it would go. Right on the line. Big dot, big dot, big dot, so that we can see it. Okay, that's good. Now label it. Label that dot above. Label it above. Try not to touch the board. Very good. Thank you, Kingston.
That's his marker.
Oh, sorry. Kingston had the number 4,100. He put it here between the 4,000 and the 5,000. Very good, Kingston. Okay, next will be, well, I picked Smith, but unfortunately, Aaron. Come up here, bring your expo marker, and plot this number on our number line. Where would that number go on our number line? Make a big dot, and then label it above. Use the tip of it, then it'll be small. Very good, thank you. So Erin had the number 1,879. She put it right here between the 1,000 and the 2,000. Erin, I also noticed that you put your number, your dot, a lot closer to the 2,000 than the 1,000. Why did you do that?
Because 1,879 is closer to 2,000 than 1,000.
Very good. Very good. I wasn't necessarily looking for that today because we're not quite there yet, but I'm really glad that you're thinking that way. Excellent. Erin put 1,879 a lot closer to the 2,000 than the 1,000 because the number 1,879 is much closer to 2,000 than 1,000. Very good. Okay, last number. Michaela, come up here, plot this point, and then label it above. Use the side, the flat side for the dot. The flat side. There you go. And now use the pointer, the pointy side to the label. Very good. Okay, so Michaela had the number 2,250, and she put it on our number line between 2,000 and 3,000. Very good. Can anybody tell me, would 2,250 be closer to 2,000 or 3,000? You don't have to tell me why yet, but I just want you to think. Would it be closer to 2,000 or 3,000? Colin?
It would be closer to 3,000.
Would it?
No, 2,000.
2,000. I hope you were thinking and you didn't just say, no, 2,000 because that was the only other option. But we'll learn about why on Tuesday. We'll talk more about why 2,250 is closer to 2,000 than 3,000 on Tuesday. So, very good. Now let's look at this number line. We have 3 points. How can we tell which one of these numbers is the biggest? Just by looking at the number line. At home, you guys can answer this too. How can we tell which of these 3 numbers is the largest just by looking at where they are on the number line. So don't tell me anything about place value. Just tell me, how can we figure out which one is the largest or the greatest just by looking at the number line? Zari?
Because it's a bigger number.
Well, how do we know that? Just by looking at where it is on the number line.
Because it goes up when you go to the right.
Good. So as we move to the right, the numbers get bigger. So which of these points is all the way to the right, Zari?
The third point.
What is that number?
I can't really see it. Sorry. 4,100.
4,100. Now, how can we tell which of these points is the smallest just by looking at the number line? Victoria?
We go left.
So the number all the way to the left would be the smallest, because if you're getting bigger as you go to the right, that means if you're moving to the left, the numbers are getting smaller. So which of these numbers is the smallest, Victoria?
1,879.
And that means our only one left is in the middle, because it's in the middle of the smallest number and the largest number. Now I just did something with those numbers. I put them in order. Did I put them in order from greatest to least or least to greatest? Zadie?
Least to greatest.
Did I?
I mean greatest.
Why? I think you're just guessing based on the fact that it sounded like it was wrong by my reaction. Why is this greatest to least? Why are these numbers ordered from greatest to least?
Because that's the way we answered it.
But why? If you weren't here for the answer and you looked at this, how could you tell they were ordered from greatest to least? If somebody just walked into this room right now, they didn't hear anything we were just talking about, how would they know that this list of numbers was ordered from greatest to least? Cullen, can you help her out?
Because the numbers 4,100 is bigger than the other numbers.
Good. And then what about this number?
2,250 is in the middle,
Because it's
bigger than 1,879.
good. And it's smaller than?
4,100.
Good. So we know that this list is greatest to least because we start with the largest number and we end with the smallest number. If I wanted to order them from least to greatest, which number would come first? Smith, if I wanted to order these numbers from least to greatest, which number would come first?
1,879.
Good. And which one would come next?
2,250.
And which one would come last?
4,100.
Very good. Remember, this is very important for this lesson. Pay attention. Does it say greatest to least or least to greatest? Because if it says greatest to least, and you put the smallest number first and the largest number last, guess what's going to happen? You're going to get it wrong. You're going to get points taken off. So pay close attention. Okay, so now go ahead and at home, let's look at the anchor charts. At school, I'll go ahead and pass them out. Okay, so first, this lesson today is all about ordering numbers. So as long as you can compare numbers and see whether numbers are greater or less than another number, you can order numbers. We're basically doing the same thing we did yesterday, we're just adding in extra numbers. So instead of having 2 like we did yesterday, we may have 3 or 4 or more. So first, we're going to look at how to order numbers least to greatest. When you order from least to greatest, numbers are increasing. The word increasing means getting bigger. What does the word increasing mean, class?
Getting bigger.
Getting bigger. So we start small and we get bigger. So we start with 123 and then 134, then 234, then 400, then 593. So we started with the smallest number and we ended with the largest number. A synonym for smallest is what word? Victoria? Least. A synonym for largest or biggest is what word? Aaron?
Greatest.
Greatest. Very good. Now, let's look at the other. So look at the other side. And it says ordering numbers, greatest to least. That means the numbers are decreasing. Decreasing means getting smaller. Class, what does decreasing mean?
Getting smaller.
When I say, thank you Zadie, remember when I say class, that means everybody. Class, what does decreasing mean?
Getting smaller.
Class, what does decreasing mean?
Getting smaller.
Smaller.
So that means we start with the bigger numbers and then we get smaller. So we start with 593, then 400, then 234, then 200, then 97. So we start with the largest number, end with the smallest number. Class, what's a synonym for largest?
Bigger.
Greatest.
Greatest. Class, what's a synonym for largest?
Greatest.
Class, what's a synonym for smallest?
Least.
Very good. Okay. Put those to the side. And now we're going to get to the math book. So put those to the side and then get out your math book. Everybody should be on page 29. You should have your place value chart. We'll use that once we get to the independent practice. Okay, so read the sentence underneath the title on page 29, Ethan. Good. So today we're going to do what we did yesterday. We're just adding extra numbers in. So we are figuring out how to put numbers in order from least to greatest or greatest to least. So everybody, finger or pencil on example 1. Finger or pencil on example 1. Okay, read in your head while I read out loud. Excuse me. Compare the populations of the 3 cities and order them from greatest to least. Now we know this whole thing is our question, so we're going to underline it. Wait, but I don't see any numbers. Where are these numbers that we're supposed to be looking at? Where are these numbers that we're supposed to be looking at? Carla?
They're on the side.
They're on the pictures. They're on the picture to the side. They are on that picture to the side. So sometimes our important information isn't in the text. Sometimes we have a picture or a table or a chart or something like that to the side. So we are putting these populations in order. The population of Lowell, Massachusetts, which is 103,299. The population of Cambridge, Massachusetts, which is 101,365. And the population of Boston, Massachusetts, which is 590,763. So, let's look at the steps. Step 1, write the populations in the place value chart. So I'm just going to put them in order that I see them in this place value chart. When I'm writing the numbers, am I starting on the left or the right? Class?
Right.
Right. So first I'm going to take Lowell, which is, there's a 9 in the ones place, a 9 in the tens place, a 2 in the hundredths place, a 3 in the thousands, a 0 in the 10,000s, and a 1 in the 100,000s. And now I'm going to label. You may have to label, you'll label over here. Lowell. Now I know this first number is Lowell. Now I'm going to take the second number for Cambridge. There's a 5 in the ones place, 6 in the tens, 3 in the hundredths, 1 in the thousands, 0 in the 10,000s, and 1 in the 100,000s, and then I'm going to label it so I know that the second number is Cambridge. Now I'm going to take the third number for Boston. I have a 3 in the ones place, a 6 in the tens place, a 7 in the hundreds place, a 0 in the thousands, a 9 in the 10,000s, and a 5 in the 100,000s. And then I'm going to go ahead and label. These are all city names. Notice how they are capitalized on the sign. That means they are also capitalized anytime you write them. Okay, so I'm finished with step 1. So let's move to step 2. It says start with the greatest place value position. Remember, this is that super important information. Because even though I write the number starting on the right, when I'm comparing, do I start on the left or do I start on the right? Class?
Left.
Left. Good. So I'm going to look at the 3 digits in the hundreds place. I have a 1, and a 5. Can I already figure out which one's the greatest? Victoria?
Yes.
Yes. Out of 1, and 5, which one is the greatest? 5. So I know this number's the greatest. So I'm going to label a little G. I know that 590,763 is going to be greater than both of these numbers because 5 is greater than 1. So if the digit in the 100,000s place is greater than the others, that means that number is automatically the greatest. Now, do I need to worry about this number anymore? I've already figured out where it goes, so do I need to worry about it anymore? Class?
No.
No. So very lightly with my pencil, I'm going to go ahead and cross it out because I know I'm done with it. I already know it's the greatest. Now, I want to find what comes next. So step 3. Can I compare the digits in the greatest place value, class?
No.
No, because they are the same. So that means I need to move to which place? Which place do I need to move to next? The 100,000s is the same, so I need to move one place to the right to the what place, Aaron?
The 10,000.
The 10,000s. Uh-oh, I have 0. I have 2 same numbers again. So where do I need to move next? Aaron?
1,000.
1,000s. Now my numbers are different. Can I compare them now?
Yes.
Yes, we have a 3 and a 1. Which one is greater, 3 or 1, class? 3. So that means this one comes next. So I'm going to put a little 2. And then I know 1 is less than all of them, so I'm going to put an L. L stands for what, class?
Last.
Least. When I looked at, let's go back to number 3. When I looked at the tens place, I had a 0 equals a 0. So step 4, I had to continue to compare until the digits are different. So in the thousands place, 3 is greater than 1. Now here, we're going to order the numbers from greatest to least. So let's look back at our place value chart. Which number was the greatest, Smith?
Dallas.
Hold on, sorry. Smith, which number was the greatest?
590,763.
Good. 590,763 was the greatest. I know that because if I look back at my chart, I have a G for greatest next to 590,763. Smith, let's go to the last blank because we know which one the least was. Which number was the least? Look back at your chart. Which one was the least, Smith?
1,365.
Good. I know that because I have this L for least next to it. Now, there's only one left. I have a 2, or we could do middle, since it's in the middle. So we could do an M. And I'm going to look back at my chart. I'm going to look for the M for middle or 2 for second. What goes right in the middle, Smith?
103,299.
299. Good. So I know the greatest is 590,763. The number in the middle, let's use M for middle instead of 2. Let's keep it all the same. So we're going to use M for middle. So erase that 2 and put M for middle. Erase that 2 on your chart and put M for middle. So we know 590,763 is the greatest. 103,299 comes in the middle of the two numbers. And then 101,365 is the least. Now, Smith, if from greatest population to least, the order of the cities is, so what's the city with the greatest population? Now is where I can look at my labels.
Boston.
Boston. Which city's population is right in the middle?
Louisville.
Lowell. Or Lowell. I don't know. I've never been there, so I don't know if they say it Lowell or Lowell. I think it's Lowell, but I could be wrong. And Smith, the city with the least population is
Cambridge.
Cambridge. Cambridge. Very good. Everybody with me so far? It makes it so much easier when you take the time to use your tools like your place value chart and do the labeling. On your place value chart, I know there's not much room to the right to write a whole word, except for the fact that we're not going to be doing anything in the billions period. So you can just write it in the billions period. Is everybody ready to move on? Okay, so now everybody finger a pencil on example 2. I'm waiting for everyone to have their finger or pencil on example 2. Okay. Read the directions in your head while I read them out loud. Order the numbers on the cards from least to greatest. So the whole thing is our question. We need to circle the really important information so that we don't forget. The really important information is least to greatest. So, are we ordering the numbers the same way we did in example 1? Colin?
No.
No. In example 1, we went from greatest to least, which means we started with the largest number and went to the smallest number. Now, we're ordering the numbers from least to greatest. So that means we're going to start with the smallest number and end with the largest number. Where are we getting our numbers for this problem? Where are we getting our numbers for this problem, Michaela? In the picture. So we have the number 245,032 on the yellow card, 254,002 on the blue card, and 245,023 on the pink card.
I can't see the numbers really.
Step 1. I know, but you have them in your book. So I know it's hard to see the numbers up here, but luckily you have them in your book. So Kingston, follow. Stop playing with that. You didn't put any of the boxes or underline any of the information like we just did. You should be doing that as well. If I'm modeling it on the board, you should be doing it in your book, because when I'm not there, when you're working on it on your own, if you have these skills, putting boxes around important information, circling important words, underlining questions, that means you're not going to miss anything. So step one, we're going to line up the numbers by the ones place. So this is how we can do, how we can easily order numbers even without a place value chart. But lucky for you, you have a place value chart. So even though this is not a place value chart, we're still going to line it up by starting in the ones place. So let's take the number on the yellow card and write it first. We're going to start with the 2 in the ones place, 3 in the tens, 0 in the hundreds, 5 in the thousands, 4 in the 10,000s, 2 in the 100,000s. And we know that is the yellow card. Make sure you're labeling which one is which. Now let's take the number on the blue card. We have a 2 in the a 2 in the ones place, 0 in the tens, 0 in the hundreds, 4 in the thousands, 5 in the 10,000s, and 2 in the 100,000s. And we know that is the blue card. Now let's move to the pink card. We have a 3 in the ones, 2 in the tens, 0 in the hundreds, 5 in the thousands, 4 in the 10,000s, 2 in the 100,000s, and we know that is the pink card. I'll give you a second to make sure you have all that written, and then we will move on to step 2. Okay, step 2. Start with the greatest place value position. Underline, exclamation, stars, whatever. So even though we start writing it in the place value on the right, we start comparing on the left. So, let's look at this first sentence. Each number has a blank in the 100,000s place. Well, if we start at the greatest place value, class, what do we see in each place? Class?
2.
2. Try to answer together instead of racing to be the first one. So can we compare yet?
No.
No, we have the same digit in all 3 numbers in that 100,000s place. So that means we need to move to the 10,000s place. Now, the greatest number in the 10,000s place, we have a 4, a 5, and a 4. What is the greatest number in the 10,000s place, class?
5.
5. So that means we already know the number on the blue card, 254,002, is the what? Greatest or least, class?
Least.
Greatest.
5 is the greatest number in the 10,000s place, so that means 254,002 is the which?
Greatest.
Greatest. So we're going to put a G. Next to the blue card, remember, Zari, greatest means biggest. 5 is the biggest number in the 10,000s place, so that means 254,002 on the blue card is the greatest, not the least. Now, we're done with that blue card, so we can very lightly put a line through it. Remember, we're not doing like all this because you're going to have to go back to it. And if you do all this, are you going to be able to see the number when you have to write it later?
No.
No. You're just lightly crossing it out so that you can still read it, but you know you don't need to look at it anymore. Now, the 2 numbers that are left in the 10,000s place both have a what in the thousands place, class?
5.
Class, what do both of those numbers that are left have in the thousands place? 5. And a blank in the hundreds place. What do they both have in the hundreds place, class?
0.
0. So now we have to move all the way to the tens. We have a 3 and a 2. Can we compare a 3 and a 2?
Yes.
Yes. Which one is
Yes.
greater, 3 or 2?
2.
Class,
3.
which one is greater, 3 or 2?
3.
3.
3. So that means the second greatest number, or the number that goes in the middle, Is it this number with a 3 in the tens place or this number with a 2 in the tens place? Is it the yellow card with a 3 in the tens place or the pink card with a 2, the second greatest or the one in the middle? Zadie?
Yellow card with
The yellow card with a 3 is in the middle. So the second greatest number is 245,032. That means the only number we have left on the pink card, is it the greatest, the one in the middle, or the least? Carla?
Least.
Least. So we're going to put an L next to the number on the pink card. So in order from least to greatest, Cullen, are we starting with the smallest number or the largest number if we're ordering from least to greatest?
the smallest.
Which of these numbers is the smallest? Tell me the number, not the card.
2.
What's this number?
245.
Remember, don't say and. So 200.
45,023.
Good. So 245,023 is the least. Now we're going to put a colon between, a semicolon. That's a comma with a dot on top, not a regular comma, because if we put a regular comma, well then we might think that these are each different numbers. Because we have a regular comma in our number, so we're going to put a semicolon between each number. A semicolon, that is a comma with a dot on top, a little bit like a J. But the bottom part isn't quite so long and curved. Victoria, quickly, what's your question?
Oh, never mind.
Okay. Now we need to put the number in the middle, Cullen. So which of these numbers is in the middle? Tell me the number, not the card.
245,032.
Good. 245,032. Then we have our semicolon. And which number is going to go last? The
card or the number?
which number is going to come last? The
Least.
least?
No,
But
the
it tells
greatest.
us to order from
The
least
greatest.
to greatest. So the greatest number is going to go last. So tell me the number, not the card.
254,002.
Good. 254,002 is the last number. So, in order from least to greatest, the numbers are 245,023, 245,032, and 254,002. Is everybody with me? Is everybody with me? Okay, you don't need to draw this because you have yours, but you'll get it out for this problem. But I'm drawing my place value chart. I'm starting with the ones period and then the thousands period. I know that I don't have anything else. I don't need the millions period because I only have one comma. If I had two commas, I would know that I needed the ones period. The millions period. But I don't. I only have one. So I know I only need the ones period and the thousands. In each period, we have 3 places. The ones, tens, and hundreds. The 1,000s, the 10,000s, and the 100,000s. And then I have 1, 2, 3, 4 numbers. So I'm going to break this up into 4 pieces. And I know between each period, there is a comma. Now you already have this, so you don't have to do this. So, now let's look at the guided practice. Number 1 says, place the numbers in the place value chart in order from greatest to least. That means you can't use this place value chart to figure out where they go because you're putting them in the order. So you're starting with the greatest, then the next, then the next, then the least. So we need to go to our place value chart to the side, and we need to write each of these numbers into it. So, using your expo marker, go to your place value chart, and remember we always start with the 1, so we're going to take that first number. We have a 2 in the ones, an 8 in the tens, a 4 in the hundreds, a 2 in the thousands, and a 5 in the 10,000s. Do we have anything in the 100,000s? Class?
No.
No. Do I have to put a 0 here?
No.
No. I only need to put a 0 if I have a blank space between numbers. Okay, so I'm done with that one. I'm just going to check it off really quick. Next number, 3 in the ones, 2 in the tens, 0 in the hundreds, 0 in the thousands, 5 in the 10,000s. I'm going to check it off because I know I've already written it. Next number, 8 in the ones, 2 in the tens, 0 in the thousands, 0 in the hundreds, 0 in the thousands, and, wait, I messed up. I'm looking at the wrong number. 6 in the thousands, and 5 in the 10,000s. And our last number, I have a 0 in the ones, 4 in the tens, 3 in the hundreds, 3 in the thousands, and 6 in the 10,000s. Zadie, you're going to help me out with this. Which place do I start in? Which place do I start comparing in? The 10,000s, very good, because it's the greatest. Well, I have a 5, a 5, a 5, and a 6. Do I know yet which one is the greatest or the least?
Yes.
Yes. How do I know which one is the greatest?
Because the other ones are 5 and 1 is 6.
And what is about 6 that makes it the greatest?
It's bigger than 5.
It's bigger than 5. So that means I can go ahead and take this number and put it where? At the top or the bottom? The top, because the top
Is the greatest.
is the greatest. So I'm going to take this number and I'm going to put it in my place value chart. I'm still going to start on the right. So I know 63,340 is the greatest because that 6 in the 10,000s place is greater than the 5 in all the others. So I have a 0 in the ones, 4 in the tens, 3 in the hundreds, 3 in the thousands, and 6 in the 10,000s. Now, I'm done with that number, right, Zadie? So, I'm going to cross it out. Normally, I would write G here, but because I have this chart that I can just go ahead and write it in, I don't have to do that. Okay, Zadie, can we compare these numbers in the 10,000s place yet?
No.
Why? What's wrong with the numbers that are left? Why can I not compare in the 10,000s place yet?
Because they're the same.
Because they're all the same. So I have to move to the
The thousands place.
thousands place. I have a 2, a 0, and a 6. Can I compare these?
Yes.
Yes. Am I even going to have to move to another place?
No.
No, because all 3 of these numbers are different. So now I know I'm ordering from greatest to least. So I need to look at 2, 0, and 6 and figure out which one's the greatest. So out of 2, 0, and 6, which of those numbers is the greatest?
6.
6. So that means which number comes next?
6.
Which number comes next? Which of these 3 numbers comes next?
6.
Do I have a 6 here? All by itself? No. So which number comes next? I know this 6 in the 10,000s place, the thousands place is greater than this 0, this 2. So that means this number comes next. What is this number?
500,000.
Look at the places. We don't have anything in the 500s. What's that number?
5.
Look at the number. What number comes before the comma?
56,028.
56,028. So that means this number comes next. So I have an 8 in the ones place, 2 in the tens, 0 in the hundreds, in the thousands, 5 in the 10,000s. Now, do I need to worry about that number anymore? Nope, so I'm going to cross it out, and I'm going to cross it out here. Now I can look at the next numbers. Well, I have a 2 and a 0. Which one's greater, 2 or 0? 2. 2. So that means which of these two numbers, the whole number, is the next greatest?
52,482.
Good. 52,482. So I have a 2 in the ones, 8 in the tens, 4 in the hundreds, 2 in the thousands, 5 in the 10,000s. Do I need to worry about that number anymore, Zadie?
No.
Nope. So I can cross it out. Now I only have one number left, right, Zadie? So it's the least. What is the least number?
50,023.
50,023. So I have a 3 in the ones, 2 in the tens, 0 in the hundreds, 0 in the thousands, 5 in the 10,000s. And I'm done with that number. And I'm done with the problem. So Zadie, tell me the numbers in order from greatest to least.
60,000.
Not 60,000.
63,340. 56,228. 52,482. 50,023.
Very good. So is everybody with us on ordering numbers? Use your place value chart. Do not draw on your place value chart. If I see you drawing with your expo marker on your place value chart, I'm going to take it away. You'll just use paper and pencil. Does everybody understand? Do not play with your place value chart. It is a tool for learning, not something to play with. So go ahead and use it. After you're done with the problem, you can use your tissue to erase. You will not need, well, actually you will need it for all of them because everybody look at numbers 3 through 5 on the independent practice. We probably won't have time right now, but that's okay. We'll have time later. Everybody look at numbers 2 through 5 on your independent practice. You are doing the same thing as number 1. So that means you're going to have to use your extra place value chart to list and figure it out, and then you'll order them on the place value chart like you did here. All of them, lucky you, well, I think, let me see, because your book is a little different than mine. Yes. All of them, lucky you, start with greatest at the top and least at the bottom. But numbers 6 through 9, you do not have a place value chart. Pay attention to what the directions say. Use your place value chart to figure out the order. Then, on the book, list them in the correct order. It says least to greatest, so are you starting with the smallest number or the largest numbers on numbers 6 through 9? Class? Smallest. Then number 10 and 11, look at numbers 10 and 11. You have charts. You are putting the number next to it. So, whichever state or number has the smallest, you're going to put a 1. Whichever number is the largest, you're going to put a 4. And then, of course, in between. So we would number these as, let's see, 3. It would look like this with these numbers. Please don't. It would look like this with these numbers. 3, 1, 2, 4. Okay? So the least is number 1. It's the first number. The next is number 2. Oops, I put them in the wrong. Sorry. The next smallest has number 2. The next has 3, and the largest has 4. That's what you're doing in those little boxes on the right. You're numbering them in order from least to greatest. But you'll have to use your place value chart to figure it out. Is everybody with me? Okay, we're not going to do that right now. You'll have time after art and this afternoon for sure. So go ahead and put your math books away.